used his body for medical science. The most common answer they give is, no, he's suffered enough.
I don't think people should have any option. I think when you die, your body should revert to the state. And the state should be able to do whatever they like with it. Stupid superstition. People saying, oh no, it matters what happens to your body. No, people shouldn't believe that. It's bollocks.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. It's always this fuss. Always this fuss. There's some, you know, some hospital. Yeah, okay, they've secretly kept 25,000 brains over the last 40 years, and all the relatives are crying. Well, it didn't hurt them before they knew. Don't tell them. You know, nick the bits. Oh, yeah, with the brains. Yeah, we saved loads and loads of lives. Oh, don't matter. I'm just upset that my uncle's brain was in a jar, not in a ditch. So it wasn't being built, really, to intercept Iranian missiles. It was being built to annoy the Russians. You hope you don't have to use the thing. It's just there to annoy... The Russians became really annoyed. You can't have lasers and missiles and things really near our country in countries we used to run. That's insulting to us as Russians. And there's a division in American politics about whether it is good to be as rude as possible to the nutty Russians, or bad to be as rude as possible to those maniacs. And I don't know. I mean, there's no doubt that the Russians
Your choice of language alone would seem to place you in one camp rather than the other.
I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Russians are really insane. And annoying, right? Not all of them are insane, but they have an insane political culture. They see that weird, bald, flabby man with his shirt off fishing, and they think, yes, we want to vote for him. Oh, and by the way, apparently he tortured people when he was in the KGB. What a guy. I think that's an odd kind of country. But I don't necessarily think the best thing to do with them is to annoy them even more. However, it is the most satisfying thing to do. It's a question, shall we have a bit of fun? Poke the Russians, poke the Russians. Oh my God, they're coming.
He can actually predict the lottery. Why didn't he just do it the day before, take the money, and then he doesn't have to make any more programmes?
Well, I mean, obviously he can't predict the lottery. It's a trick. If he predict the lottery, you say what the lottery number's going to be before the lottery numbers, not just after, which I think what he did.
That's what he did,
What
yeah.
appeared on television is the lottery numbers, and then after that, his prediction of the lottery. Now, the cleverest thing about that trick is the fact that he has encouraged people to describe it as predicting the lottery, rather than saying the lottery numbers just after the lottery. I also find it confusing that people are surprised that his programme explaining how he did it didn't explain how he did it. He wouldn't be a successful television magician if he told everyone how he did all his tricks.
What happens to a hedgehog if you remove its fleas? David.
It dies.
David Woo. No, there is a myth to this effect, but it's not true at all.
Yeah.
It's perfectly possible if you covered it with anti-dog flea powder, it would die from the dog flea powder, but not from the lack of fleas. They're very happy with their fleas. It doesn't kill them with or without. What mustn't you feed hedgehogs?
Bread and milk.
Exactly, bread and milk is a bad idea. People do. It gives them diarrhea and they dry out.
You don't really feed bread and milk to any mammal, including humans.
But there is a Radio 4 show that deals...
come off it.
No,
Well, you shouldn't feed humans bread and milk.
No, not really.
What do you mean, not really? It's absolutely demonstrably fine.
No, it's not very good for you.
Well, it's fine.
Bread and butter
We've been
pudding.
drinking milk and eating bread for ages. Why is it suddenly a massive problem? Oh,
Yeah.
no, actually, we're supposed to live till we're 250. But no, we're eating all this poisonous bread and milk all the time. We can barely live past 98. It's ridiculous. Of course we're supposed to eat bread and milk. Not just bread and milk.
Oh, poor Alan.
No,
Don't
no.
bully him. Poor Alan.
It's not...
You shake hands and be friends.
Sorry,
now.
Alan.
Yeah. So, despite what you may have heard on Radio 4's programme,
Yes.
presented by David Mitchell, what's your programme called?
The Unbelievable Truth.
Exactly.
One of the unbelievable truths turns out unbelievably to be not true.
You claimed.
Yeah, just people give you this shit and you read it out.
It's brilliant.
I've no idea what you mean.
I want you to work.
It's
a very hard way to do this.
I'm sorry. How are they ever going to get back into office? Aren't they trying? Is it match fixing? You know, is someone bribing them to be terrible at politics? Mike Reed, 10 minutes, rapping. What the f*** is that? Democracy in this country. The reason Tony Blair can start wars for without asking people is because there's no opposition. It's their fault. It's Mike Reed's fault. The deaths of our servicemen are on his conscience.
Sorry, David. I've made a mistake. It's false.